Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Want to welcome you to another live this morning. Today I'm at Rio Grande. Let me just show you. I'm at the Rio Grande. And want to welcome you to another live. I'm here with the family. Malachi, my wife, my granddaughter, and those are some men rafting on the Rio Grande. So those are some men rafting on the Rio Grande. Morning! Can't hear me. Yeah, so they're videoing. So this morning, guys, we are at the River Grande. Want to welcome you to another edition of 60 Minutes with Mother Nature. And I'm grounded. This morning, I'm here to show you a few more herbs. This morning, we're going to look at some herbs at the Rio Grande to tell some folks, tell somebody that we're on 60 Minutes is on. And this morning, I just want to share some more herbs with you. Malachi. All right, turn around the chart for me. So we're going to be going through our chart, our 12 medicinal herb taste guide. We're going to be going through that. And I'm here with the entire family this morning. Well, my wife and my granddaughter. Say hi, honey.
Hi.
Mm-hmm. All right. Boca Tav is planning to be more than a spectator one day soon. All right. Boca Tav, morning, morning, morning. Tell us where you're from. It's sound as if you're in Israel. Sound as if you're in Israel. So this morning, we're going to be looking at some herbs. But I just want to say that before we go into this morning's presentation, I want to pay emphasis on those herbs that are edible. You know, when I look at what is happening in Afghanistan, not Afghanistan, sorry, what's happening in Israel and what's happening in Palestine. This is Kiera. Oh, from Florida. Morning, Kiera. Morning, Bokata. Yeah, Kiera. So this is pretty much where you're gonna be, if you're still planning to come. But this is pretty much close to where you're going to be. This is a beautiful Rio Grande, wonderful, breathtaking view of the river, and it is so comfortable. People come here and they have their bath, they swim. This river is very famous for rafting, very famous for rafting. But this morning when I got up, you know, these videos are unscripted. I get up in the morning and when I meditate, I actually just wait for a word as to where to go. And this was where I was directed to come. So I don't know what is in store, but we're gonna be looking at some herbs. But before we go, one of the thing that came to me strongly when I was meditating this morning is that the earth is going through such an abuse, such a transition that I hope persons take this morning, Ayaba, morning from New York. It's so important that the message that I'm trying to bring, which is to help persons to identify medicinal herbs or identify herbs around them. So many persons have not taken this serious. But I was thinking this morning about what is happening in Palestine and what is happening in Israel. And it seems like no more than ever these events are is happening far more frequently. In other words, just about a week ago, there was normalcy in Palestine, there was normalcy in Israel, and all of a sudden, that normalcy suddenly just became something else. Morning Aquarius. I look at what's happening in the Ukraine and so many parts of the world. But when it's at war, it's a man-made disaster. It's something else that has seriously destroyed what most people know as normalcy. And as I said, one of the main reasons why I'm doing these videos is because I believe the next crisis is going to be a food and medicine crisis. When you look at what is happening there, electricity has been shut off, water has been shut off, no food is coming in. It's going to be tough. And so in a crisis like that, it becomes very important for persons to know the need or to know the use of the herbs that they have around them. All right, and to know the use of the medicines that they have around them, the food that they have, the medicine that are around them. That's growing wild, and I'm gonna be putting out a booklet on that, Jamaican wild foods, and just letting you know that I'll be back in the States very soon. And this Saturday, and I'm gonna be posting my itinerary. I intend to do a lot more videos like these, focusing on the foods and focusing on the herbs. I'll be in Florida again. I'll be in New York. I'll post my my itinerary. But in each of these areas that I'm going to be in, my goal is to do herb walk. So I'm shouting out all my KINDAH family. Yes, man. All right, so blessings. All my KINDAH family. As much of you that I can link up, let's link up and see if we can do some herb walk. So morning, Annie. I'm gonna be in Florida. I'm gonna be in New York. I'm gonna be in Chicago. I'm gonna be in Virginia. I'm gonna be in Maryland. I think 5 different states I'm gonna be in from the 12th of this month to the 30th of November. All right, so I'll post that. If you're in the KINDAH group, I'll post that itinerary, and it'll be good for us to link up. All right, so let's get going, guys. So Malachi. So I'm gonna ask my son to help me, and we are at the river enjoying ourselves. That's my little granddaughter, and she's in the water enjoying herself. That's my son, and I'm gonna ask them to help me this morning, and that's my wife. Say morning to the KINDAH family now.
Morning, morning.
Right. All right. So this morning is a family edition. We're gonna be doing our 60 minutes with Mother Nature family edition. So what we're gonna do is, guys, come now. All right, come now. Malachi, hold this for me. I only want to hold it. One hold it for me. All right. So come here. All right. So let me just explain it. So guess what we're gonna do, guys? So what we're gonna do is, let me just show you this footage. You have to see this. Look at that. That's a raft. Morning, morning. Morning. Yes, sir. Wagwan. All right, sir. What do catch fish? Wanna catch nothing? A mullet? Snapper? Man, I love this way it look like. What they say, them black or red? What up, what am I missing? Yeah, look for one. I'm going to go down in the water. So these guys are catching fish on the Rio Grande. Whoa! I saw them big, man. Where's a baby that? Yeah, big size fish. All right, so The raft is made from bamboo. And they are just going up on the Rio Grande. I think Aquavius was here. Aquavius, when you're here in Jamaica, did you ride on the rafting? Were you on the rafting? So Kiera, I think Kiera is looking to come. Kiera come, we're going to hook up Kiera so that Kiera can ride. So they're getting ready to dive to look for fish. And we see so many fishes here. You know, it's so beautiful and it's so peaceful and it's so tranquil. Oh, you didn't ride the raft? Okay. Yeah, so this was pretty close to you know. Pretty close to you. Touch base with me, Aquavius, because I have some dates that have not been filled in as yet. Let me see how possible it is to come by you when I come up. So they're catching fish. All right, so you know, when we see activities like that, then we will, you know, I'll just intersperse them into today's video. So today we're gonna be looking at, so honey, Malachi. So I'm having class with my family this morning. So this morning, Malachi, you're going to, honey, well, listen to me. Malachi, you're going to take the pen and we're going to be working together. And guys, this can be fun. This can be a family activity. And so I want you to look at this Malachi, and this is a chart of what we call the 12 medicinal teas. So from this chart, we're going to go into the wild and we're going to see if we can determine the medicinal uses of some of the herbs. All right? So just tell me the first one. So we have acrid herbs, we have bitter stimulant herbs, we have pungent herbs, we have aromatic herbs, we have fragrant bitters, we have simple bitters, we have astringent, we have sour, we have oily herbs, we have mucilant, we have sweet, and we have salty. So from this chart, we're able to determine the medicinal use of almost any herb just by tasting it. All right, so we're gonna apply that. And I want to big up all those guys. I want to big up some of the guys that have called me that have actually started using this. I know Deborah has started using this knowledge for herself and her family in terms of, you know, putting herbs together. Who else? I know who else is online here? I don't remember, I'll soon tell you, but there are persons who have actually started to use the knowledge in terms of tasting. And I also want to say that I saw some persons in the group posting herbs, a lot of herbs, which is good as it relates to the kidney. And I wanted to know if you notice that as we look at the herbs for the kidney, most of them are yellow. Most of them produce yellow flowers. We know that most herbs that produce a yellow flower is good for the urinary tract system. And most of the herbs that produce a red flower is good for the blood. Most herbs that produce white flower is good for the bones, so on and so forth. We look at that under the doctrine of plant signature. So this morning, we are going to see how many herbs we can identify. And what happened is that as we go into the wild, what we do is we try to look for the herbs that are most frequently occurring, the herbs that repeat themselves most frequently. Those are the herbs that we start recording, and then after we record the herbs, we record them in our diary, and after recording them in our diary, we make note of the taste, and we actually make teas from them. All right, so let's go, take up your shirt, Malachi. Let's see if we can look at some herbs, and you're gonna notice that every area has different herbs. And one of the herbs that we're gonna see recurring a lot, because I've been down here before, is this herb. Oh, this herb. Go and touch it for me. No, man, not that one. That one. Yep. Go on and touch it, man. Yeah, you can pick a piece. All right. All right. Honey, you want to record? Do you know this herb? Smell, see if we can smell the leaf. All right. Hold on.
Smell like tea.
Smell it. I smell.
Smell like
Strong scent.
yeah,
All right.
tungsten.
Well, this is the fruit that it bears. So we're gonna try and taste how it tastes.
It's bitter a little bit.
Bitter, right? When you want to taste it. You know, just taste it and tell me what you think. How it tastes. What's the overwhelming? Is it taste or flavor that you're experiencing? Flavorful. So looking at the chart, what would you say would be the most overwhelming experience that you're having from this herb?
What could I say? Pungent.
Pungent? There's pungency, but it's not. It's mild. But what's the most overwhelming? Is it a taste or a flavor that you're experiencing? Flavor.
Right.
So, what?
Hold on. What are they again? Fragrant, bitter,
Enjoyed.
aromatic. Yes.
Because the most overwhelming experience is an aromatic experience. So can you write it down for me? So this herb is actually called matico. This herb is called matico. Dr. Sebi talks about it a lot under the name Cardan Negro, Silo Negro. Cardan Silo Negro. He talks about this Cardan Silo Negro, and we call it it's an aromatic, and it has a slightly. It's the overwhelming experience is malanga leaf. Ayaba said, "I see malanga leaf." Which one do you call malanga? Is it this? Is that what you call malanga? Ayaba? We call it wild cocoa. So write down for me, matico. So Cardancilla negro. It's also called matico. This one is called wild cocoa. Is that what you're calling? Okay, Buki, Aquila said we call it Cardancilla negro or matico. Right, that's right. That's right, Buki. Yeah, I love using matico as well. And we use matico a lot for digestive issues. It's also, because it's an aromatic, it's a seasoning, so it can be used as a seasoning. All right, what else, herb? What else are we seeing, honey? What else are we seeing that is overwhelming? What other plants are we seeing that is repeating itself a lot in this area? I would say these grasses. Yeah. Now, this is called elephant grass. Well, some call it elephant grass. But we call it Napier grass. We call it Napier grass. So you can write down Napier grass. So we're doing an audit. We don't look into the medicinal uses yet. What we do is we audit what is present, what is in abundance. And then when we record it in our diary, that is when we actually go through to do the plant profile. So, all right. So we use a chart, all right, and we have the diary. All right. What else are we seeing? Which one? Let me see. It's mint. Black mint. All right. So we see another plant here. It's a black mint. A lot of it. Saw a lot of this in Florida. Yes, I love using matica. Ayaba says it's highly spiritual. Which herb are you talking, Ayaba? Which herb is highly spiritual? Is it the matica that you're talking? Because yeah, it is highly spiritual. It's an aromatic, so it is one of the highly spiritual herbs of Jamaica. So what else are we seeing? What else are we seeing? I wanted to show you this herb. Really wanted to show you this herb. This herb that has these flowers on it. This is a very famous John Charles. It's in its seeding state right now. And this is one of the herbs that we use, or grass, or the grass, the bamboo ayaba. No, it's not bamboo ayaba. That is, they call it elephant grass. The grass that you're seeing, it's called elephant grass. Or we call it Napier grass. So this is John Charles, and this is one of the herbs that we use a lot for persons who are having respiratory problems. Down. We're gonna see lots of that growing here. We also see lots of Spanish needle. It's a Spanish needle. We see lots of Spanish needle. All right, let me point on it. So this one here, the Spanish needle. We see lots of that growing. We also see lots of Cersei. This is Cersei. Malanga leaf. All right. And I'm gonna give you a wide shot. So all the plants that we're looking at right now, those are the same plants repeating themselves over there. So it's a Spanish needle, elephant grass. Look what else is here. Which one? Which one?
This one with the little.
Oh, snake whisk.
Oh.
Or snake vine. Yeah. This one, you can write it down. It's called snake vine. I'm going to show you why it's called snake vine. I'm going to see if I can find one of the actual vine itself. Look, a snake. But you have to find it. You have to find it.
Lots of bees is there.
Yeah, I don't see any of the older vines, but it's called snake vine or snake whisk. Yes, Kira. Kira says she loves our bitter. Yeah, man, bitters are very good. Then we have guava. Look at this beautiful guava flower. This is so rare. Seeing a picture like this. This is so rare. Yeah, that's a picture of the guava flower. All right, the guava flower. All right, very beautiful. This is the guava leaf. I'm gonna taste this one. I don't know what this one tastes like. I'm gonna taste this one. Spanish needle looks like a vine. No, let me taste it. Snake whisk. Very crispy. It's not bitter. It's actually when you taste it. Oh. Shot my wife. uh, uh, so, guys, you should have seen her face a while ago. All right, so it has an acrid taste. It tastes acrid, slightly at the back of my throat. I'm tasting an acrid taste, like a somewhat peppery. But I'm tasting a lot of mucilage, like slime.
Slime. Okay.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's snake.
That's a snake whisk. So it has not bitter, but it's acrid. So it's so look at acrid herb now. Acrid herbs is not bitter, but it relaxes and cools and drying. So that's what it does to the tissue. That's what it's telling you it does to the tissue. So what it does is that it would help swelling, any type of swelling, that acrid taste that I'm tasting. So we can always research them. And a matter of fact, the part that I've beaten up and crushed, right now it feels a little slimy. So there's a little mucilage there. So that would also suggest that it would good to cool, right? And look at my chart. Acrid herbs relaxes, cooling and drying. So this would ease inflammation. So I can actually see the slime in it. So even without knowing this herb by name, come here, honey, come feel this. So just squeeze here, so squeeze it. And then rub your finger now. You feeling that? Yeah, that's slimy. So that slime is telling us that this herb works by cooling or relaxing the tissues. Because the herbs, based on their characteristics and taste, they tell you what they do. So even without, so our ancestors who went into the wild, these were the tools that they used to know the medicinal uses of herb. So even if I didn't know this herb, or even if I didn't know the taste of this herb, then just by experiencing the taste and the texture, it would tell us what this herb does. So the biggest question is, honey, are you concerned about poison? What are your concerns as it relates to tasting plants? Are you concerned about poisons? Yeah.
Yeah, at some point in time, but coming into getting a better understanding, you have to consume a certain amount
Okay.
for it to do any damage.
Right.
To you. But initially, before having the knowledge of it, then
Right.
that was a concern.
Right. So as I taste this herb, because the acridness is also one of the ways that the plant protect itself. So as I taste it, for me to be poisoned, I would have to actually be able to withstand the discomfort of the acridness, because the acrid taste is a deterrent. It's telling me that I shouldn't eat too much. Right? Just like how bitter is a deterrent. So the plants that are very potent has built-in deterrents in them, so that you'd have to go beyond a certain amount of bearing that uncomfortableness for it to become toxic enough to hurt you, right? So this is telling me that this is a very powerful plant that has the potential to hurt me, but I'd have to consume a whole lot, all right? So that's one of the plants that we see now. Here's another one that we're seeing a lot of, castor oil. We're not going too far. Oh, because the kids are with us. So these are castor oil. This is castor oil. So these are castor oils. These are castor oils, which you see a lot as well. So you can write that down, honey. Castor oil. Castor oil.
Castor oil.
Castor oil, right. Castor oil plant. And then there is this plant. See a lot of these in Florida as well. And Deborah is. Remember Deborah, we saw a lot of these in Florida. This is the spider plant. Spider plant. And just by looking at it, we can realize that the overwhelming, it has yellow flowers. So we know that this herb is good for the kidney as well. Spider plant. All right. Now, let me get the leaf. You don't have to taste it, honey, but just smell it and tell me what. What's your overwhelming?
Faint.
Yeah.
I need to rub it and then,
But does it have an odor?
yeah.
Tell me what else you're experiencing as it relates to the leaf. What's happening to your fingers?
Oily.
Very oily. Very sticky.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go back on the chart. Let's go back on our medicinal taste chart.
Like the scent, but
So you're experiencing oil. So
sticky.
let's look on this. Let's look for oily.
See it here.
Oily. So oily, cooling and moistening, provide energy and health. So this herb would also help the nerve. And you can literally feel the oil in it. And it's also somewhat of a mild aromatic.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me taste it.
Seriously.
Yeah. Mildly bitter. Just mildly bitter. So that's the what they call it, the spider plant.
Spider plant. I said.
So it's mildly bitter, but it's very oily. It has a lot of oil in it. Here's another plant that we want to look at. This won't finish. All right, so this one is the Solanaceae. It's from the family of tomatoes. This is highly toxic as well. It's not one of the herbs that you're gonna see animals eating a lot of because it's highly toxic. Which one? So that's the same family of herb that tomato is from. It's called Solanaceae. And here we have another herb that grows yellow flower. That's a vegetable. That's I want to be able to. This is purslane, red purslane. This is Chancapiedra or seed palmback. And what we are seeing is those are the same plants repeating themselves. So we have the castor oil, the Solanaceae, we have the spider plant. Those are the same plants repeating themselves along with the elephant grass. So those are in the river. You're gonna find these plants just repeat. Oh, I wanted to show you this one. This one is here a lot too. Yep, Chamba bitters is in the kidney tonic, right, Kira? Now, this plant that we're looking at, morning, Georgia. This plant that we're looking at, this one. I'm gonna bring the camera closer so you can see. This is called wild hook, right? It's called wild hook. I'll bring it closer so you can see it. Wild hook. And it's actually a vegetable, but it has many other uses. It's used to make furniture. So it's used to make baskets, and it's used a lot to make household furniture. Well, it's used along with wicker to make furniture. So this is wild hook. It's used by the Maroons a lot, but it's also a vegetable. It's very rich in iron, and it can be it's used like how we use kalalo. All right, so let me see if I can go closer. Let me show you how big this vine grows. All right, so those limbs that you're seeing, that's a vine, and that's the part that they mostly use because it's very fibrous. So what they'll do is that they'll cut it down, and they will use a very sharp instrument to cut it into smaller strips, and they'll put it in the sun, and they'll dry it, and use it to make baskets, or even to go fishing. They'll use it to make baskets to go fishing. That's what our ancestors used years ago to make baskets, to carry load and so on and so forth. So let me give you a close-up of what it looks like. So the part that is edible is the younger tips. The younger tips. So this is what it looks like. And these are plants that are edible. In the time of a crisis, you can always run to the hills and you can find this plant and you can cut off the parts that are softer, and you can cook them with coconut milk. Maybe I need to do a book on morning, Monica. Need to do a book. I'm gonna be doing book on wild foods, Jamaican wild foods. I'm gonna do a book on that, and I'm gonna make some time to get that done. Wild foods of Jamaica. And so you can get this and you can just cook it down in some coconut juice. And this is very high in iron. It's one of the alkaline vegetables, and the Maroon community, goma. What is called goma, Georgia? Goma. It's called goma. What have you eaten before? The wild hook? Have you eaten the wild hook before? Yeah? Is that what you've eaten before? So it's okay, right. So it's very high in iron, and I use this to make a detox juice. If you get this herb, the leaves from this herb, along with garlic and onion and ginger and carrot, we use it to add it to our recipe to make a detox juice. And I'm telling you, I mean, this thing does wonders. This thing does wonders for your health. Now, here's another tree that you need to know if you're in the wild. Here's one I can give you a closer. Honey, come look at this tree. Let me see if anybody can identify this plant. Anybody can identify this plant. Are you ready? Look at this plant and tell me if you know this plant. This one. Don't say it if you know what it is. Anybody? Ooh, one stick me in my foot now. Let me take it out. No, whisper. Come on, whisper to me. And tell me if you got it right. Oh, you don't know.
No,
All right, you know. Anybody know this tree? In Jamaica, we have a saying. We have a saying in Jamaica. Say, girl, to all me love you, maybe climb maca tree for you. Yeah, this is one of the trees that when you see a love a girl, you will climb this tree for her. This is a maca tree. But can you tell me the name of this herb? I talk about it a lot. It's used for rheumatoid arthritis. Only some, honey. Here's another one. See lots of them growing right here. So this big one, this is a massive one. And they actually grow bigger than this. They grow much bigger than this. Lots of these trees here. Greetings, everyone. Morning, Arlene. Can anybody tell me what tree is this? So here's another one. There's another one. And there are many of them here. Man, I'm walking barefoot and they're sticking me in my foot. So let me just pause and see if I can get out the thorns. Look at it. Oh, let me give you even a closer shot here. All right. We use this plant a lot. When you debark it, it's actually yellow. All right. Based on what you've learned so far, those persons who have been in the class, looking at the plant, the dominant feature of the plant, could you tell me what this herb is good for? Them juke you. Can you tell me what this herb is good for? Looking at it, the overwhelming feature of the plant. Can you tell me what this herb is good for? The herb is telling you what it's good for, no? The herb is telling you what it's good for. Anybody? Has lots of thorns on it, lots of prickles on it. Plants that have thorns and thistles on it, what are they predominantly good for? Plants that have on it, or thorns, as they would say in proper English. In Patois, we say it have maca, full of maca. Look at that, full of maca. Inflammation, very good bookie. Ayaba says, is it baobab tree? No, it's not baobab. Arlene says it's protective or it cleanses. I'm going to give you some points for that. Yes, but plants that grow thorn, I'm going to tell you, remember, plants that grow thorn, when thorns hurt you, when you are stick by a thorn, what it does is that it causes pain. So most herbs, most plants that grows thorn are herbs that are good for pain. So let me ask my wife now, because this is the first herb walk with her. Come here, honey. She don't want to be in the limelight. I don't know why she don't want to be in the limelight. But looking at the herb, because I would climb this tree for you, you know.
Really?
Yeah, man, I climb maca tree for you.
Okay.
Yeah, man, me climb maca tree for you. So, do you know what plant this is?
Yes, sir.
What is this herb?
Prickly aloe.
Prickly aloe. We call it prickly yellow or prickly ash. Prickly ash. Prickly ash. All right? So you're going to write that down for us?
Okay.
All right? So prickly ash, or it's called a toothache tree. It's called a toothache tree because if you are ever in any pain, this is a tree that you want to find. It's good for arthritis pain. It's good for toothache. As a matter of fact, the leaf or the bark is very, very valuable. The bark is it helps with it has the active ingredient is called capsaicin, 20 times more powerful than the capsaicin found in cayenne, which means that because cayenne can be taken for pain, but when you take cayenne pepper, the pain, the ability to relieve pain is very short. Compared to this plant, is 20 times more powerful, and it also induces sweating, so it's a diaphoretic. It helps to sweat. Persons who have rheumatoid arthritis or rheumatism, not rheumatoid arthritis, but yeah, even rheumatism. This is one of the plant that you want to combine with cat's claw to get rid of pain. It's also good for cancer. It has a yellowish color like turmeric, so it can be used with turmeric. When combined with turmeric and ginger, it's powerful. Xanthotoxylin. Xanthotoxylum. Very good, Arlene Dundas. That's a scientific name, Xanthotoxylum. So it's called prickly ash, or in Jamaica we call it prickly yellow maca. And this is a plant that's very good for pain. All right? So we're gonna look at some more herbs. Watch me gang that come. I'm not using that show. Watch me gang that come. That's Malachi. Hey guys, watch this now. I want to show you something. Watch this now. Look at this. Shima, watch this. Talking about me 1 grand pitney. Shima, I'm a 1 grand. I'm a 1 grand pitney. Talking about me 1 grand pitney. I'm in okay more Britney. Talking about me 1 grand, me 1 grand, 1 grand, me 1 man. I'm a 1 grand pitney. Shima. Yeah. So if you bring her into it, having fun. That's what it's all about, guys. Having fun and learning. So let me see if I can see some of the whisk. Let me see if I can find. Yeah. So this is a snake whisk again. And all these vines coming down are snake whisk. Look at why it's called snake whisk. Hold on. Look at that. Does it look like a snake? All right. It looks just like a snake. So it's also good for poison, insect bites, poisons, and that type of thing. So it's one of the overwhelming herbs that we see here. All right, let's see if we can find some more, and then we can. This direction. Come on, guys. Let's go in this direction. Now I see another tree that grows here a lot. Grows here a lot. Those big trees that you're seeing, all those big trees that you're seeing. Let me see if I can find some fruit. And if you can tell me what tree is this? All right, so let's see if I can find some fruits underneath it. And these are some of the biggest trees that grow here in Jamaica. Let me see if I can find it. Malachi. All right. Look at that tree. You know what tree is that? What tree that is? Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find a fruit from this tree. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a fruit from this tree. Let's see if we can find a fruit from this tree. I don't see any fruit. But this tree usually grows on the pasture. Most people keep them for animals to rest underneath them because they grow very big, very wide. And they grow, it's in the pea family. And we know it's in the pea family because you can look at the leaves. You can look at the leaves and you can know that it's in the pea family. And this is what we call the guango. The guango tree. And the guango tree is very good for energy. Morning, Ryan. From the pea family, and it grows some plants, some fruits. I'm trying to find them that are very good in terms of giving you energy. If you're low on, and as a matter of fact, it's a natural sweetener. So if you're low on sugar, if you're working in the wild and you're low on sugar, you can, honey, look at the chart for me. Just look at the chart for me and tell us sweet herbs. What do sweet herbs do to the cells of the body? They energize it, right? They're adaptogenic in nature. So sweet herbs are herbs that provide the body with energy. And I mean, can you imagine if you were in the wild, like if you're farming, like that's a farm over there. Person over there that is farming, planting bananas and so on, and maybe the person who is farming this wouldn't even know that the most used, what they would need most to work this farm is energy. And maybe they wouldn't even know that what guango does is that guango provides energy. So even for animals, it can be used for forage in cattle. There are some farmers who will get the guango and they will mix it with grass. Oh, Arlene, are we in Jamaica, Arlene? Arlene says it tastes like honey. I have eaten the beans. Very good. So, exactly. Morning, Ryan. So the guango produces some beans, some pods. There's none here now. It produces some beans that are very sweet. It's, as I said, it literally produces a sap that has the color of honey and tastes like honey. And what it does is that if a person is weak or a person is very weak, very sick, and you want to build them up back, you want to strengthen them, you can get the beans from the guango and you can give it to them. And what it does is that it begins to provide the body with energy. It begins to build the body because there are times when a person is sick, when what they need is something to build their bodies up. What they need is something to give them energy. Well, the sweet herbs from the chart, if you're studying your chart, look at your chart and have some examples of other sweet herbs like, what's another sweet herb off my head? What's another sweet herb, honey? Ramon, that's what I was trying to remember. Ramon is another sweet herb. It's an adaptogenic herb. The bark is sweet. When you taste it, it's sweet. Well, guango is also sweet. What's another one? Logwood. The heart of the logwood is also sweet. And basically what they do is they provide the body with energy. So sweet herbs like sugarcane, sweet. Once the herb is sweet, it provides the body with energy. And so guango is one of those herbs. So if you are working, and how would you get the energy out? You can just get the guango pods, and all you need to do is break them up, put them in some water and throw some hot water on it. Put them in a cup, throw some hot water on them. and just store it around. And what it does is that it produces a nice, and what you can do is you can add ginger to it. You can get the guango pods and you can add it to a cup of water, add some ginger to it, and you can make a very nice tea. And you can also chill it and use it as a cold tea. And that is what you use to give energy to your body. Yes, Georgia, very powerful. So for persons who are very sick, for persons who are very weak, you want to be careful for persons who are diabetic, but for persons who are weak and for persons who are sick, you can use the guango for that. Farmers use it for cattle. They use it for cows who are very sick and who are very weak and very meager. When you have cow, or if you have pets that you want to build back, you can break it up with hay or with grass, feed it to cattle, and in about a month's time, the cattle health is restored. But it's not only good for cattle; it's good for humans. So guango is one of those plants. Let me see if I can squeeze in one more herb before we close off because the time is going. So here's one more herb, and I'm going to close it off. One more herb, and this herb is called chiganit, and I'm gonna take it up from here because on where our office is, we actually have a chiganit. So let me go a little closer. There's lots of share me, darling, and I'm barefooted, so I'm careful. All right, so this is the famous. We call it in Jamaica chiganit, but it's actually chiganut. And it also produces a fruit that's edible. It's very sweet. I'm looking to see if there's any on it. And then most persons would know this plant, which is the susumba. So this is also edible. This is a nice. I wonder if Georgia can tell me that she eat this too. Georgia, I wonder if you can tell me that you eat this too. But the susumba are gully beans, as it is called by some. Georgia, is that a yes? You've eaten gully beans too? No man, Georgia, you're not normal. So gully beans is actually a delicacy here in Jamaica. It's prepared with saltfish and it's cooked in coconut milk, and it makes a very nice meal, very nice breakfast. You can cook that with some grilled bananas. So guys, it's so good to know your wild foods. It's so good to know your herbs, but it's also so good to know your wild foods. We're almost out of time. There are some links in the description. We call it gully beans with saltfish or rundown. Georgia, yes, eating it too. Bitter though, yeah. So it's slightly bitter. It's very good for the digestive system. Gully beans. These are foods that our ancestors used to eat that now they don't eat them anymore. And so no wonder we have, the sicknesses and the diseases that we have. And if you had any fun, but I had fun doing this 60 minutes with Mother Nature this morning. I had so much fun bringing my family with me and sharing the time with you. Again, there are some links in the description. We're looking for 12,000 persons to teach 120 herbs by the 12th month. We have a group, the KINDAH Wellness Group. If you've not yet joined the KINDAH Wellness Group, there's a link in the description that you can join. And you'll hear more. We have a KINDAH Wellness meeting coming up next week. So we have lots of exciting news. I'll be in the US again from the 12th of October to the 30th of November. And I'll post my itinerary in the group as well. Just finalizing it. I'll post it in the group. And I'd love to catch up with some of you. Love to catch up with persons in Florida, persons in New York, persons in Maryland, persons in Virginia, persons in Chicago. We'll be going through all of these areas. Also, guys, if you know of anybody that wants to do a consultation, there's a link in the description. There's a link in, yes, wonderful Arlene. There's a link in the description that you can, if you know of anybody that needs to do a consultation, we do consultations. You can book a consultation, a link. Also, we have the Boston Institute of Natural Medicine. We have live session this evening. We have live class this evening, guys. Remember, we have a link for that as well. And there's just so much that is happening. I have so much in the pipeline. When I get back to the States, I'm working on some exciting events. I'm hoping to share that with you by early next month. We'll be able to share that. All right, so I want to thank you guys for being on. If you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel, like and share. And until next time, this is Dr. Ben Israel reminding you that you don't need to know a lot of herbs to be a good herbalist. What you need to know is a lot about the herbs that you in fact know. All right, so see you next time. And I want to say to you that the next video is going to be in St. Thomas. I was in St. Thomas the other day and I saw went to look some herbs, and I went to a location where there's some rare herbs that we can't find, exposing us some new herbs and some potential wild foods that you can do, that you can learn. And as I said, when I come to the States, I hope and I intend to do more herb walks where we'll be looking at the herbs in that neck of the woods to help persons in that part of the world to be able to know what is around them. All right, thank you, and hope to see you on our next series. Bye-bye.